Hey, how's it going guys, and welcome to the first episode of Craig's COD Tips. And in this episode I'll be giving you guys tips on how to manipulate the enemy. Okay, just in case some of you guys don't quite understand what I mean by manipulating the enemy, I'm going to give you an example up on screen. Okay, as you guys can see here, when I turn to the right I spot an enemy, and my first course of action is to turn my back to him and put him into a false sense of security. As soon as I do that, I put him into a position where he thinks he has the upper hand, and as soon as I think he's run far forward enough to be within my knifing range, I turn around, not giving him much time to react, and I knife him. Okay, so our first tip is putting the enemy into a false sense of security. Now this can be accomplished and used to great effect in a lot of different ways, and it's absolutely crucial when it comes to manipulating the players you're up against. Okay, so in this next example you can see me doing two things to help me achieve my next tip. Number one, I'm running away from the enemy, and number two, I'm getting out of their line of sight. By doing these two things, I'm making the enemy confident and more ambitious to chase me. As soon as they're in their running animation, they become more vulnerable and easier to take out. Okay, so our next tip is making the enemy confident. Okay, so on to my final tip, and unfortunately I don't quite have the gameplay I wanted to show you an example, but I'm sure you guys know exactly what I mean, and that's double bluffing. An example of double bluffing would be throwing a stun grenade through a door, making the enemy think you're going to come through that exit and checking for any enemies inside, and he'll be aiming down his sights at that entrance, and you're going to find an alternative way up and get behind the enemy and take them out. This is an extremely simple thing to do, yet extremely effective if you know how to do it right. It's been around in the COD community for quite some time, and it's extremely popular. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, click the like button. Feedback is always welcome in the comments section, and I hope these tips help you out in the future. Peace out.